new year. Everybody knows the Great Pumpkin. Everybody knows the Thanksgiving one. Everybody knows the Charlie Brown Christmas. But do you remember the New Year's Eve one where Charlie has to read War and Peace?
It's just a few seconds before midnight.
That's not the only cartoon. Animaniacs did a great New Year's Eve special.
Let's stay up late, let's celebrate, and then count down from 10. 'Cause tomorrow when we wake up, guys, the whole thing starts again.
Many of the long-running TV series have a New Year's Eve episode, including All in the Family. This one is a lot of fun. Mike and Gloria are arguing, and for some reason, Billy Crystal's getting married.
I hate to tell you where we got poison ivy.
They told us, Camp Neha.
And they can't do it at a church, so they have to do it at the Bunker's house. Now, not Archie's house. This actually not be the Bunkers, they're the Stivicks. So, Gloria's house. One of my favorites is the episode of Alice where Flo doesn't have a date for New Year's Eve. Now, Flo would tell everybody to kiss her grits, and she was left behind at the diner. She's the only one keeping the diner open. Everybody else leaves. And she calls into a radio show, and on the radio show, everybody hears this sad story of Flo. And so everybody starts showing up at the diner.
This way we come down and bring in the new year with you.
Barney Miller is a show that is wildly underrated. First of all, the greatest theme song, or at least the most rockinest theme song. I love this show, great cast, and a great New Year's Eve episode. It's about all the cops having to work on New Year's Eve and all the stuff that they come across in the big city.
Wacko on a ledge on the McIntyre building who says he's going to jump unless there's peace in the Mideast before midnight.
There's a lot of trouble.
Barney Miller, not the only cop show doing a New Year's Eve show. Dragnet did one.
As any police officer can tell you, New Year's Eve for him is one of the hardest working nights in the year. This one was no different for us. Within an hour, we received more than a half a dozen calls to be checked out. Street fights, ADW calls, cuttings, the usual complaints that you'd expect to get when a community of 4 million celebrates New Year's Eve.
If you watch this channel regularly, you know I'm a big Disney fan. And my favorite attraction is the Carousel of Progress. Now, one of the things I love about the Carousel of Progress is that you celebrate a couple different seasons in it. When you go to Walt Disney World, you sit down in that room and he has Halloween, and then you see the torch he's going to have for their Independence Day celebration. There's all kinds of holidays in there, and it ends with Christmas. But it didn't always end with Christmas. The version that they had running at the park in the 80s that I used to watch as a kid had a New Year's Eve sequence.
It's past that time in half the world.
Wow, the awesome things they teach these children nowadays.
Very funny.
Celebrating the New Year here in London. A large crowd decided
tremendous pace as happy Parisians welcome the New Year.
a happy holiday spirit filled the evening. We still have several hours before midnight here in the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, but already people from all over the world.
I always liked you could see the Disney characters right up here. I was never a big Doogie Howser fan. It wasn't like I disliked it. I just have never seen very many episodes. There's maybe only one episode I've seen, and it's the New Year's Eve one. He's got a female roommate. He's staying in this place. They're having a fight, so they put the curtain up to divide the room and a bunch of stuff, and then she throws a New Year's Eve party. Doogie's furious. But in the end, Doogie learns to relax a little bit, enjoy the party. It's a fun episode, and it's almost like a standalone movie. If you're like me and you're not a big Doogie Howser watcher, it's a great episode on its own.
Gunther, Claudia, Happy, Sneezy, Dopey, all of them. I want them out of here now.
There's Gunther now.
The one that a lot of people think of is Friends, because Friends apparently did a New Year's Eve episode like every season.
Paolo, you don't have to face the horrible pressures of this holiday. Desperate scramble to find anything with lips just so you can have somebody to kiss when the ball drops. Man, I'm talking loud.
It wouldn't be New Year's Eve if you didn't celebrate with the gang at Full House.
You dig it?
Yep, I got two of them. We are going to have one happy New Year's Eve.
All right. What is New Year's Eve?
Laverne and Shirley was a fun show. I watched it for Lenny and Squiggy, and this particular New Year's Eve episode does feature them a lot.
Of course you are.
Yeah, it's surprise. You want to know what it is?
No, I don't want to know what it is.
Well, we're not gonna tell you. Yeah, that's
Listen.
Mr. Belvedere is one of the most underrated sitcoms ever. You have such a great cast in this. Everyone from the kids all the way up to Bob Uecker, and then, my goodness, Christopher Hewitt as Mr. Belvedere. This show was based on a movie. They had done a series of black and white movies with Mr. Belvedere. I think Mr. Belvedere might have been based on a book before that, but regardless, Mr. Belvedere is a great character. It's one I wish they'd bring back at some point, but I love this New Year's Eve episode. Again, kids want to have a party.
Here on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah? So can I have one too?
No.
It'll be good for me. Mr. Belvedere says I need to work on my social skills in case the FBI doesn't give me a new identity.
Now, there's other stuff to watch on New Year's Eve. Of course, you can watch the ball drop. I like to watch Johnny Carson's show because when he was on, if it coincided with the ball drop on that night, he would actually show it on his show.
2, 1.
I know when I was a kid, the big thing was banging on pots and pans. And back then, because we didn't have the internet, television, and all that, Mom could just wake you up at like 9:30. She could put you in bed at 9, wake you up at 9:30, say, hey, it's New Year's, you pound on it. She could change the clocks in the house. You'd never know. Now with the digital television and everything, sometimes your TV is like on a minute delay. And we used to not know that. Like, I mean, maybe our TVs were always on a delay. We just didn't know. Now you can tell. And so New Year's sometimes will go off at a house I'm at, and people's phones are going off 30 seconds before because the countdown's already happened elsewhere. Disney, by the way, used to have New Year's every night at Pleasure Island. And I've spent New Year's Eve at Disney, and it was wild. I went to Epcot, and I went to Pleasure Island, and I think I went to Disney Hollywood Studios. I think it was Disney MGM Studios at the time. And I just remember like going around and just seeing fireworks everywhere. Like everywhere you went, there were more and more fireworks. By the way, if you enjoy these videos, make sure and be like the Fonz. Give it a thumbs up. And while you do, go, hey, and then tell YouTube to sit on it.
Are we ready to say goodbye to 1997? Are you ready, New York City? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
1998, the year of Godzilla.
Well, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you have a happy new year. Hope you're happy and healthy. Hope you come back every day in 2024 because I will have a brand new video at 2 o'clock. And right now, there's going to be a box here and a box here, and you could choose either one. How are you going to start the new year? Starting it with this box or the one that Google says is best for you. Now, I'll tell you what I'm putting over here. Part of my trip to Chicago's airport. I spent a whole night there.